Sí, you just feel like you're already dancing ahí con la suegra, con la tía, con, I don't know, el año nuevo ya está aquí. Ah, cabrón, no, ¿verdad? Estamos apenas en, well, yeah, today's Navidad, the 25th. Welcome, everybody, to Nachin and Friends, the Friday edition. Aquí estamos y no nos vamos. We're going to have a special show tonight. We have a lot of information. The recap de todas las noticias que pasaron en la semana. Yo soy Nachin. Tengo aquí en la línea a Heidi.
Hi.
Ya se enojó Heidi porque estamos grabando y empezó a hablar y le dije... Pero no, ya estamos grabando otra vez más suave. Heidi, no te agüites, chiquilla. Mírala, ya se puso bien roja. You cabrones, I wanted to do this show and I didn't think it was going to be like abusive behind the scenes where you guys were going to scream at me. Now I'm crying. Forget you, cabrones. And this were... Nah, no te creas. Sorry, Heidi. We didn't mean to scream at you. It was Charlie that pinched me.
What's going on? Feliz Navidad to both of you.
Oh, man.
It's a beautiful Friday.
Un abrazo to both of you, to our families that support us through this journey, and to each and every one that needs one in this particular day, because there's a lot of people, believe it or not, that are not surrounded by people that love them. So you that might need it, un abrazo sincero, donde quiera que andes, feliz Navidad. Feliz 2020 y pues I put that song para empezar porque la verdad siento que el pinche 2020 ya fue un impactful one y nobody's gonna forget this year, but everybody wants to be out of it because we hope that 2021 it's a lot brighter. I don't know if you guys are ready, but I am. I feel like 2021 is gonna be the year for those that go after it and conquer it, no? Con fe y con ganas.
Let's do it. Yep, I agree with you, brother. 2021 is the year.
Y bueno, pues pinche Charlie, ¿qué está pasando? What's going on with the stimulus? Dime, ¿se lo van a dar? ¿No se lo van a dar?
And we're still waiting until right now, man. They're still negotiating. They're still...
Everybody's
like
on Christmas break. Les valió
Wednesday.
madre, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Unfortunately, yes, that is true. But like we said on Wednesday, they had a package done already. All we needed to do was Trump to sign. He said, no, that's embarrassing. Our people need $2,000. Married couples need $4,000. I'm going to shoot it back or I'm going to veto it. So we're still waiting.
He's like,
so
you're going to suffer, putos. I'm going to go enjoy it later. Ahí les calenté el fire. Man.
I am not going to eat tamales today.
Olvídense, cabrones. Sufran, ya tenían todo compado. Ya se habían gastado todo en la pinche Marshalls, en la Macy's. Dijeron, who cares? We're getting $600. We have 3 kids. Es... Tinga, son 1,500, 3,000 bolas. Olvídate, let's go waste it. Well, Trump ya les volteó el pinche. Oh, man, it's crazy.
Bye PS5.
Hey, another news, Charlie, that happened during the week that really like raised some eyebrows is the fact that Apple's saying that they're going to make a new car and it's going to be an electric car as well. So everybody's moving towards the era of the electric car, the electric vehicle, the electric world that's going to make it supposedly simpler for everybody. I just want to skip that electric era and just get into the flying era. I don't know about you, but
It's
dude,
true.
I just...
Yeah, absolutely. I'm there.
Cabrón, no, our kids might be able to live that because they are going to have that eventually, but imagine...
We
The
all thought it was going
Jetsons.
to be 2000. If we
Damn.
recall, I remember growing up, oh yeah, flying cars, 2000. Womp, womp, womp.
Ni madres.
We're still trying to make electric cars work.
Ahorita I can barely turn on one with the carburetor. No, mira, cabrón, ya
Ándale.
se chingó el inyector, güey. Ya no sirve, olvídate. Chinga su madre.
And for the younger people, what's a carburetor?
Hey, speaking of that, let's thank our friends at iSellAutos.com for sponsoring us and being part of the show. They're going to be coming on board and telling us what they're doing, but they're going to initiate the year, dicen que con el pie derecho, and they're going to be able to finance anybody y también encontrarte el carro de tus sueños. So just send us a letter, dicen, at iSellAutos.com at gmail.com. Gracias, amigos. Charlie, también tenemos un tema muy interesante. We have our beautiful friend Heidi, straight from San Diego, reportándonos ahí, like, un paso afuera de la línea de Tijuana ahí, oliendo los pinches tacos ahí, oliendo la cultura. And she's always palpitating todo lo que pasa ahí. Creo que es bonito tener esa opinión de una mujer que ha vivido mucho en la vida and still young at heart and still young in her whole being. But life has shown her how to actually surpass, those experiences where we all go through and some get stuck, but
Obstacles, yeah, for
ella está
sure.
en otro nivel y nos trae su información. Y el tema de esta semana, we had said that it was going to be las tóxicas o los tóxicos. Have you ever been in a
Oh,
toxic
those
relationship,
maldiciones.
Charlie?
I have, brother, and it was not nice. It was not fun at
¿Te
all.
pegaban o qué?
Um, not physically, but emotionally, yeah, it was definitely
Did she
draining.
cheat on you?
So I'm glad I'm out of that, and I'm glad I met my wife.
No, ya,
So,
ya está ahí tu wife atrás. No
yeah.
abres más, cabrón. Te mato, cabrón.
Se mandinón.
Es el pinche pasado. Está pasado. I think we've all been in one of those relationships because there are no instructions with love because it starts as a puppy love. You kind of like, get into it when you're meeting the opposite sex, whether it's in elementary school, and then you start seeing who you think is cute. And it elaborates through, middle school and then high school and then college. And it's all a learning process. And some people are good hearted and they know about respect and they know about that. But then there's other people that don't. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different background. Everybody has a different story where they came from, social status, emotional status. It all amounts to that that affects the relationships. And today more than ever, I think we're
Right.
living in the most toxic times because of everything that's going on around us, and everybody lives in that on the edge, very edgy, very angry, and love is kind of like flying out because there was a study that was made by the Wall Street Journal which stated that nowadays most people don't even want to get married. They don't want to even entertain the fact that marriage is an
The
option.
thought,
They
yeah.
see it as an obligation and they're like, if we love each other, we're going to live free. But then they say that living like that is el libertinaje, like no rules, like you don't respect it. So there's always two sides to a story, but we're going to look at it from what it is today, the popularity contest of who's more toxic, men or women. Without further ado, we want to welcome nuestra muchachona, Heidi. What's up? ¿Cómo estás?
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Hey, Heidi, welcome on board.
Dice Charlie, ¿me quieres quitar el pinche jale?
So,
No te creas.
go ahead, Nachin. Sorry.
No, no, Heidi's like, no, cabrón. No, mira. Yo acá, nah. No, so Heidi, you did a lot of research. We were asking you to actually give us that feedback since last Friday. We wanted to really dissect this thing that it's kind of like a popular meme on everybody's timeline. La tóxica. You see guys with trucks with the sticker buscando la tóxica. ¿Qué es la pinche tóxica?
Okay. Well, I asked in social media what La Toxica is, according to the experiences of individuals. And someone responded the meaning of a toxica, and I feel like they're on point. She said a toxica is a woman who brings nothing but negativity to her home, always complains and ignores the positive in the relationship. And I think that's right on the key, a nagger, someone who just doesn't appreciate, their husband. So sometimes they're maybe just bitter. So they just want to, you know, use the husband as a punching bag.
Hmm. So it's like throw that venom out. They have no means, and since they know the husband loves them, their partner is there supportive. Because I see this in most cases where the guy is a nice guy, and the guy kind of
Hmm.
gets stepped on just because this person is toxic and he loves her so much that he lets her do it. But I can say this: if you allow it, it's just gonna keep growing, and that can turn into a vicious cycle where this person can even turn into a violent person, right?
Yeah, you know what, Nachin? I'm going to tell you something. I think a toxica can be two
Mm-hmm.
things. A girl that's just bitter and there's something wrong with her within. Therefore, she's not allowing herself to be happy or others in her household to be happy. And it could be the husband and it could be the kid or it could be both.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that some girls are nice and sweet and they turn toxicas after they're cheated on.
Mm-hmm. They
Ooh.
amargadas, as they say, bitter.
Hmm. Well, yeah, and I think that at that point, I mean, in both points, you have to seek help. You have to seek, some form of counseling
Mm-hmm.
so that you could be a better person and therefore make others happier.
Ujú. Nos están hablando aquí la mujer. ¿Estás bien? Oh, se nos durmió la niña. Dame unos 5 minutos. Ok, gracias. Ven como la tóxica sabe hablar hasta en el momento que uno está haciendo algo. Les vale madre la vida del hombre, ¿no? Híjole. No. 5 minutos, hay que echarle. Porque pues si no, no comemos. No tiras. Los de ISO no nos van a pagar.
Let me go through other responses and then we'll just take it from there, okay? So other people responded, jealousy, a woman that's extremely jealous, a controlling woman, a woman who has resentments, or blaming the guy for a bad experience, meaning that they go out to their mom's house, something happens, and they come home and they're angry and they take it out on the husband. Let's see what
Been
else.
through that.
Expecting a partner to act the same way. So, to think the same way as you or have the same opinions as you.
Si no,
undermining a man's feelings. And I think that's a big one. I think especially in the Latino community, because we're so used to seeing the dad as like the strong figure, and we rarely see our dads, break. So I feel like as I got older, I definitely started to take this into consideration. But in the younger years, it was like, no, it's like all about me. Like I have emotions, but then it's like that also neglects the other person's emotions.
Well, that kind of also reflects how that generation of men, our fathers, right now, people that are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, were that generation that went through it, and they basically, at the same time, had to be hard because they said, you know what, I'd rather stay quiet than listen to that argument or argue with her. And just, that's when you begin to understand the adulthood, when you get into the adult shoes and you start seeing that, life can be trippy if you're with somebody like this, and that's why a lot of men are just emotionalists, because these people actually step on them, on their hearts completely.
I think too, what happens is that that maybe they don't go emotion. I'm not a guy, right? But I think I saw it in a lot of my guy friends, because I have a lot of friends who I knew since I was like a kid, and then I grew up like seeing them, and now we're adults, right? But I think what happened is that their emotions were neglected, so then they go out and cheat, and I see that a lot.
Well, they're saying this week salió otro news story, and just regular news, that said that nowadays there's more cheating, but not with younger chicks, with the cougars, 40 and up, because the cougars are being neglected at home because they're toxic to the husband. So the husband is like, whatever, I'm not even going to talk to you. So these ladies are doing it on purpose to go out and get young bait, and they're getting their fun because they're also at their peak before they lose that libido, that drive. So it is kind of like a dysfunctional relationship of being with somebody like that, but it also becomes like vicey. They say that some people like being in that toxic environment. Like without it, they don't survive. And since most of them are already with kids, are like, it's cheaper to keep her, it's cheaper to keep them. Let's just write this thing out y vámonos. We have fun on the side.
And isn't that sad though? I feel like that's a really sad stage. I don't ever want to be in that stage.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think if anybody out there is in that stage, they need to find a way to revamp.
Dice un cabrón, easier said than done. Al rato que te los corten y te dejen en la calle y no tengan ni pinche casa. Ni madre, it's cheaper to keep her.
Hey,
Look,
but sometimes
there's another type of toxica, and this toxica I saw a lot. And this is a woman who competes with the suegra. Come on. That's,
Charlie, ¿a ti te ha pasado eso?
No, brother. Thank God.
Tú compites con el suegro, ¿verdad?
No,
¿Quién puede
a
hacer
ver
los
quién
más
come
chingones chicharrones, suegro? A ver, cabrón, a ver, véngase.
No, para nada, pero I mean, I've learned my lesson. I've learned my
Mejor
lesson.
calladito se ve más
Um,
bonito.
and yes, previous relationships, I was that dude,
Yeah.
overprotective, super celoso. I got dumped. Luckily that person left. But I'm saying luckily because it wasn't healthy
Yeah.
for her or I. But I learned my lesson. When I met my wife, I said I made it a point. I wasn't gonna be that person.
Hmm.
And to this day, I told my wife, you know what? She's because she tells me she's like, no eres celoso. I'm like, I am to a certain point. I'm not possessive like I
You
was.
kind of grow
I
out
just
of
stopped
it.
her for
No, you
years.
get to a level where
Yes,
I think we all have that
you mature. Hmm.
toxicity adentro de nosotros because we don't know who we are. We don't know how to love. We don't know how to
Yes.
accept love, and we don't know what we want in love. And it's until you let yourself be free and really accept love that it happens. Like I look back in my relationships and I was a
Yes.
little DI, all up and down, haciendo un desmadre, breaking hearts, and I was a toxic one because I never wanted to fall for anybody. But then I realized as I look back that they're not my proudest years because I play with people's emotions and I could have been with great, great people. And no, I was just that karma. And maybe I turned them into a bitter person. And I hope I didn't. But if I did, please forgive
Yep.
me. And cabrones, I'm using this tool just to apologize. No.
It's part of your five
That's
steps.
almost those.
Sí.
That's almost those, brother.
Sí.
I mean, luckily I have my wife, and she put me straight. She set me straight in a sense. She's not toxica at
Mm-hmm.
all, even though I call her toxica just to piss her off sometimes.
Nice.
But just between us, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, she, I learned my lesson and I grew and
Charlie,
I
¿por qué le
matured.
hiciste así
But
para lado? ¿Te están jalando el collar o qué?
she,
No te creas. ¿Qué más tienes, Heidi, de la toxicidad?
That's the one with the suegra. I feel it's a really big one because I saw women compete with the suegras, like as far as even food. Like my food is better. I raised my kids better. Or even fighting for like the attention of the guy while the mom is visiting. Like, dude, come on, that's his mom.
Yeah.
Like get over it.
Instead of accepting it
Um,
as, you know what, we're all a family. Let's unite. You're you, I'm me. I accept your role. But I think it comes down to the idea that all these traditions, all these respectful manners have really been disparted and kind of like broken apart because people don't respect their elders as they used to anymore. And everybody's more
yeah.
about, hey, if this, if that, and blah, blah. Like if that's the cool thing instead of like, respect your elders, look up after them. They came before you. It's okay. One day you're going to have your shot. You're going to be the older person. Don't run. You're going to get there. Relax.
Yeah.
for
And I
sure.
think it's an insecurity too, like to have to prove yourself with everyone in
Mm-hmm.
front of your men. That's a toxic chick. And honestly, I have seen chicks that do that. In those girls, like I don't even want them as friends, like I don't even want them in my circle. If you feel like you always have to prove that you are the prettiest, that you are the one on top, that you are, because while you do this, you're really not learning anything. You're just like feeding your ego,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not someone that you want to have around. Um, as far as men though, because it's the man's turn, what
Oh
have
man.
you guys seen your guy friends see that you're like, oh, that's toxic to do to a girl?
I think taking away their phone and keeping it, not letting her look outside the
What?
window as you're driving. Don't talk
Oh
to
my
any
god.
other guys. You're not gonna wear this. You're not gonna go out. You're not gonna talk to her. What are you doing? Just possessive, feeling very jealousy, very like you're my chick, and you see that a lot with a lot of guys that they're
Oh
insecure
yeah.
and they get into fights because what we're looking at my chick and blah blah. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? I'm cross-eyed. I can't even see where I was looking the other way.
Oy, visco,
Disco pendejo. Pero yeah, it's about like that dog figure that becomes real in a man where he's protecting you know, his woman, his thing, and you can never protect anything because nothing is yours. Everybody is born with the free will, and if somebody wants to go out, I read once in a book that talks about humans as being animals that we naturally are instinctively inside, just an animal that has a language and some sort of reasoning, but they say that instinctively we were born to procreate, and systematically we've been taught to just stay in the system, and just the conditioning of, the father and mother figure. But psychologically speaking, they say that men and women are only kind of like programmed to be into a relationship for 9 months because of creating a kid and raising a kid, or a pup, or the little creature when it's born. And if you extend it into human years, it's like 7 years. After 7 years, you kind of like, whatever. You either love them or you don't. And if it goes past it, then you really love them. But if not, it was just a fad, just for procreation. So all these things come into play. I think at the end of the day, for a guy, if you look at it, we're more animalistic, and women might, be known as being more emotional. I think at the end of the day and in the long run, women are the ones that win, because look around. I see more elder women than older guys. And I think women know how to manipulate those emotions. And it's until they get to the next level that they can control those emotions. Instead of utilizing for the bad, they realize, you know what, la estoy cagando. ¿Para qué chingado soy mamona? Y también los guys. Y el cabrón que no la agarre, just get out of that relationship. Talk to them. Be straight out with them and tell them, if I don't make you happy, then don't be with me.
Yep.
I think though the idea of, oh yeah, man, like we're just not meant to be in a relationship with one person. I think that's a very toxic thinking for males, because I think that we are. That's why we have the need to be with someone, and it's not just the need of a woman, but it's the need of a man too. I think relationships take, hard work. And I think that's been washed off a lot of men's mind. And for that reason, they become toxic, because they feel like, oh, wait, am I not man enough? Because now I'm just like with one chick, you know? Maybe I need to go out with my boys and prove that I still got it. And then that turns you toxic into that relationship. You know what I mean? I also think that guys who are cheaters are toxic. And I think that, as a matter of fact, I read an article that said that men that cheat are trying to prove something to their ego because they're insecure. And I mean, an insecurity, and that type of insecurity is very toxic to a relationship.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree with you 100%. It's just, I guess, something sad that happens along the way. And we're living these times that are all broken. And I don't know what the new era is bringing. And it's sad to say it, but we are going through a paradigm shift. Hopefully, traditions stay together. But the way things are going, people don't need each other. They don't need a man or a woman. People can get, rent a womb and get the seed from another person, and, make it happen if that's the case for procreation. But I think it's necessary to have a partner, but a partner that supports you, a partner that's with you and understands you. But in order for you to get to a level, it's not in the beginning, like you said, it has to be worked on. And it's better if you work it out, because imagine being able to live your golden years where you're young, your 30s, your 40s, or 50s, your 60s, in a good state of mind, instead of just waiting till the end and saying, no mames, la vida nos chingó. ¿Y qué hicimos nosotros? Nos chingamos el uno al otro. Instead of enjoying it.
Yeah, I think that's really, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Hey, but you also, on the other hand, you have this thing going on in China, where is it China or Japan, where men are marrying dolls, robots, for the same issue that a robot you could, I'm sorry, you can
Turn on and turn
program,
off.
not to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, pretty much.
Man.
That's a trip. Like, this is what's going on. This is the new thing over there, and it's sad. I mean, but I'm not sure if Japanese or Asia, in Asia, they just have the wrong image of women.
Well, I don't know if you guys remember watching a movie. I think it was called Total Recall, where they're in the future, and this guy, I don't know if it's Sylvester Stallone or what's his name, Arnold, but one of those is in the future, and they get to a level where he's gonna be intimate with the girl, and
Oh
they
yes,
put on
with
a
Sylvester
like
Stallone.
Oh
They put
yeah.
her like
Yes.
like goggles, and that's how they have sex. And he's like, what's this? And she's like, oh, I was just intimate with you. Oh. And it's more of a mental thing rather than a physical thing, right? So who
Yes.
knows where things are gonna end up? I'm just glad that in my lifetime I was able to go through the toxic relationships because they're a roller coaster. You feel cool, you angry, and then you make up and
Your
break up and
adrenaline.
then all that. But I'm also proud to say that I aim to not be in that anymore, and to have better relationships all around because life is too short to waste it with stupidity and with negativity and being mad about little things. And I think if we learn to let go of BS that holds us back, the more better, the more freer we will be, and we can interact with each other as individuals and like friends. One thing that I like to do a lot, if you can see it in my Instagram, Ana Chingon, is put a lot of funny stuff because I love to bring smiles to people. And things that make me smile, I put them up. But long story short, what I'm saying is this: we got to learn from pain, but realize that pain should not be permanent. We got to learn to let it go and to let it pass us. Like if you look at that movie Jackass, the whole message of the movie is not being stupid. It's not doing stupid things. It's the fact that they do the opposite of what is expected, which is getting, like a crying face when they get hurt, starting to feel the pain. They would laugh. They would laugh at pain. So if you get something about life is that life is unfair. Life is very tough. As you get older, you realize that you uncover the veil that was put on you through innocence. But it doesn't mean that it has to be bad. It doesn't mean that you have to be a venomous person either. Try to work on yourself so you won't be that toxic person and you won't hurt others that love you and don't tell you anything because they accept you. And that's what love is, accepting one another. But try to check yourself and your ego at the door and not be that a-hole that destroys somebody else's feelings. That's all I can say.
Me hace llorar, Nachi.
Cállese,
Me hace
cabrón.
llorar.
Especialmente the person that you have next to you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that, if that's that one person you don't want to hurt is the person that you live with, that you go to sleep with, that you wake up with,
That snores at night.
the person you're raising your children with.
It's tough, but it's doable. I think life is a learning experience and we got to learn from our mistakes, right?
Just roll with the punches. That's it.
And try not to punch and be in
Live and
an
learn.
abusive relationship, pinche Charlie. Not roll with the punches. Si no lo vas a decir con un pinche black eye, sígale, cabrona. No hay pedo.
No, no, no. The only cheating I'm doing is I'm cheating on my diet. That's about it.
Ay,
Traigan los tacos.
ay. Guys, well, I wish you a feliz día. Que se la hayan pasado durante todo el día con su familia este 25 y el resto de esta noche, el 25. Les deseamos una feliz Navidad y we hope we can bring you something different, something that's going to make you smile because we do it from the bottom of our hearts. And little by little, this team is joining forces and bringing their own energy because I think the world is ready for real conversations that really make you think and not make you criticize. It's more about seeing things from a different perspective and I guess letting the malo go. Heidi, anything you want to say?
Yeah, have fun these upcoming holidays and don't be toxic to your partner or to your suegras or to your sister-in-laws or to anyone.
Nah, amenlas.
Just love and good energy.
Claro. Thank you, Heidi. Que Dios te bendiga. And enjoy your tamales tonight. We're still going to go cough some up from you porque ya nos prometiste, pero it'll be soon once this thing gets down, okay?
All right.
Dice, cállate, cabrón, todo estoy enojado porque me callaste hace rato. Charlie, gracias, cabrón, te bañas, ¿eh?
Igualmente, brother.
Ok.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz año nuevo y ahí viene el año
Igualmente.
nuevo.